agent in need of backup.
Hello and welcome to my video again. This is Victor, and today I am going to do another playthrough in the Division 2 game, and we are at, as you can see, we are at the bank headquarters heroic mission. And as you can see in the title, what I have been doing these days is I'm trying to build my create my DPS build. So I'm gonna quickly show you what I've been trying to do. So I'm basically trying to make everything red. I'm keeping this because I do want a little bit of like armor per kill, or like a little bit of skill, but eventually I might switch it to something like Providence defense. But anyway, so as you can see, there are still a little bit to do, because what I want is not just each gear has a red, but each of the attributes are going to is going to be maximized. So here I have a critical, say my mask, I have a critical hit damage maximized, which is great, but the weapon damage and critical hit chance is not that great. So the only way to improve that is to do this thing called optimize. And by optimizing, the way to do that is I need to get a lot of those SHD calibration tokens or whatnot. And if I get like about 13 or 15 of them, I will be able to optimize slightly, and eventually I will be able to get there. So to quickly show you what it looks like, so you can see here I did optimize my weapon damage for the Memento exotic backpack. So you see that little symbol there, logo icon next to weapon damage. You can see that you can optimize it, but it requires some work to actually get to the bench and optimize it. So this is one of the things I'm trying to do. Another thing is that you can see at the very bottom there's a thing called critical hit damage, which is now 11.4%. So the maximum value for this one is 12%. And how do you get that? You can't optimize it. The only way to get that is you get a gear mod that actually is 12%. And you might ask, so how do I get that? So this is why we are at this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this mission, and I'm going to maximize the level of difficulty to increase the chance of getting the loot that I want to get. So why are we here at bank headquarters? You might ask again. So every day, the game will actually reallocate where you can have a higher chance of getting a certain loot. So here today, the bank headquarters actually has a higher chance to get the gear system mods, and that's why I'm here, and that's why we are here. As I said, I increased the level of difficulty to the maximum. Oh, this is not what I'm trying to do. I'm gonna load this to heroic, so that I get the biggest chance of that. Oh, while I'm standing here, I end up drawing some enemies. I gotta finish them before I go into the mission. But that shouldn't be that hard. So I got this, there's one more here. So as you can see, my armor is actually not that good anymore, because I'm basically optimizing all of the attack. But I mean,
need to get the access codes to the vault to recover the item the hyena stole from Air Force One.
But if you can finish the enemies before they finish you, then I guess it also works, right?
Should give you access to the vault.
Alright, so I'm going to show you how I play this mode, or sorry, this mission. This is the bank headquarters, and as I said, heroic is harder, but it's actually not impossible to play. And I'll show you the routes that I take, and hopefully it will help you to finish this as well. But the only real difference is that if your character dies, you will start from the beginning. So there's no checkpoint, no nothing. So that's why you want to stay alive for the entire mission. And there are several things I try to do to make sure that my character stay alive, and I will explain to you what those are. And while we're playing, I'll explain to you what kind of gears I set up so that I can stay alive as long as possible without dying in the middle and wasting everyone's time. Oops. In fact, I should actually switch to a ranged weapon. Alright, there we go. So the first thing I do is I have a stinger hive. So here you can see a stinger hive here. what it allows me to do is Stinger Hive actually has can cause some damages, and that helps me to attack the enemies in a wider range because it kind of like you set up a trap, right? So you set up a trap. When they run towards you, they got distracted and got attacked before they can attack you. So which is great because if you are busy fighting some other enemies, then when someone sneaks behind you or they flank you, that range or the region of the Stinger Hive will help you to stop them. And then once you hear that the Stinger Hive gets activated. So the first skill that I have, especially for solo mission. The other one is, as you saw, I have the Striker Drone. Striker Drone is also an attack or offensive a skill that attacks enemies. You can also tag enemies that you can have send the drone to attack them. It also distracts the enemy so that they stop shooting at you. So it's also pretty good. Sometimes the drone also will shoot like other explosives and stuff by accident, and that also helps you to kind of attack the enemies. As an extra bonus. So that's the two things I do. The other thing I will explain later on for my weapon choice. But as you can see, my primary is the assault rifle, and I will explain. In my last video, I mentioned why I choose this assault rifle and the talent that I use. So usually what I do is I set up a Stinger Hive, I let it load a little bit, and I'll just let it rip. Yeah, let it rip. And in the meantime, just take care of enemies here and there. In this region, there are two levels. So some enemies most of the enemies are actually going to spawn from the top. And sometimes there will be a tank coming out. Sometimes they don't. So it really depends. And see, I can just send my drone attackers distract the enemies a little bit. Sometimes they don't get distracted, sometimes they do, but the drone will do a little bit of damage, not much, but a little bit, right? And then I can choose to blind fire a little bit, or like focus zoom and fire a little bit. You see, he got distracted, so I can shoot his back, so his shield is not effective, right? So usually I pick it up so that it speeds up the reload. My drone, I can leave it be, or I can just destroy it so that it can load up faster. And while I'm running in the quiet zone, then I don't need the drone, right? So it can just reload or replenish. It takes about 18 seconds, so that usually is plenty of time for me to get from one section to the other section. There's a few more seconds left, that's fine. So that's that. So that's the skill. So moving on here, so you see that there's a pile of stuff over here. So this is usually what I will do. First of all, I will just shoot that pile, or wait for my Stinger Hive to replenish. So I know that it's going to go up to 13, but my sidearm actually adds one more skill to it. And what it does, it actually bumps my Stinger Hive up to 14 times. So that's why I kind of like wait, do this, let it out, and then start shooting that pile, set someone on fire, set up my my drone, and then start shooting. So for those enemies who are in the zone of my Stinger Hive, I will just let the Stinger Hive do its job. And if I see, so I also try to prioritize who I am shooting at. So the first thing I shoot usually is the medic, because they can revive the enemy. So I can potentially be just shooting enemies non-stop, because that guy can revive enemies. So that's the first one. First one I will try to do. The second one I'm trying to do is I'm gonna shoot the engineers. And the reason why is that they also will build the they will end up building the this is going to be tricky. Oops. I might make a bad decision. I might make a bad so the engineers will build like turrets, and the turrets can actually be troublesome. Try to blind fire a little bit. Can I go around? I can't. Can't go around. Interesting. I'm gonna quickly go around here. Just create some distance. And let the Stinger Hive distract him a little bit. And with the Stinger Hive on, I need to be a little bit more careful. Maybe I'll switch to this ranged weapon, with more damage. So essentially, the key to play this game. This mission is to keep your distance. I think in general it's important to keep the distance between enemies because in tight space you get like overwhelmed quite quickly. So let's take a look at what we get. Like this is alright. Critical damage is not too bad. 11. I'm looking for 12, but I'll keep it for now.
Looks like that key card is the one we were looking for.
Alright, so this is not max, so I'm just gonna destroy it to leave some space. Alright, so that's the kind of I believe, you know what, I think this is one of the harder regions in this mission. So just keep your distance. Right, because you have like two really like high defense enemies, right? Take a while to finish them. Now another trick, a lot of you actually, if you have been playing Division a lot, you will notice that there's actually a little hidden panel here. So once you finish that 2 guys, there's a hidden panel. There's a secret key called RFID key card. So you'll grab it.
Wonder what that unlocks.
And it will be useful later. I mean, it's not really something essential, but it's something that is kind of like secret of this mission. So you grab the key card. You don't need this key card to get through the mission, if you wonder.
Hostile radio.
So go back, go all the way down.
It's the fucking division.
Now,
Wants everyone back at
I think
headquarters.
this honestly is the hardest part of the game. So first of all, try to get replenish your ammo. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly run out, go outside, up to this point, throw a Stinger Hive and run back. The key idea here is really to keep the distance. And then I will switch to a long range weapon because that allows me to keep the distance and do a little bit more damage. Also start my striker drone to send the drone out, and then distract the enemies while finishing them. So you see, there's actually a good amount of enemies. They are not like super strong. They're only reds, but they become overwhelming when there's a lot. The second wave, you can see that there's some purple over there. So as long as you're keeping the distance, you're pretty good. The tank is the hardest to kill, of course, but with the drone, it's distracting them, and then you can try to take away the other enemies first, so that you don't get overwhelmed or get franked. Right, so there's only this tank left, so it's pretty easy to kill, and we are good. Alright, so here then you will realize that having a ranged weapon is really important, at least for me, for my playstyle. So I'm going to show you how I have my weapon. So I have an assault rifle. The assault rifle is what I learned from last mission. I mentioned that is to use strained. So strained allows you to stack up your critical hit damage to up to 50%. So it's actually pretty significant. Typically, as an assault rifle have at least 100k total damage. So if you think about that, it's actually going to increase the damage quite a bit. Whereas if you compare to say most of the SMGs, they are like slightly less than 100. As for LMGs, it's even less. I mean, they compensate that for RPMs and mag size, but it's not my playstyle. So I know a lot of people actually like using LMG because they don't need to reload a lot, but that's just not my style. So this is one of them. The other thing is you use a ranged weapon. So this one is my go-to. I know a lot of people like this one because the Bakers doesn't, because you have a perfect lucky shot, which means that if you not only does it increase your magazine size, if you miss a shot from cover, you get that at ammo back. So essentially, you every shot lands. That is what every shot will make a difference or make an impact. So that's a 2. You use a range or range. Assault rifle is not too bad for range either. So it's a pretty good, decent weapon all around. Anyway, so that's usually what I would recommend doing for a little bit of range or that. when I first start playing Division, I always like to have a Marcus, how do we call that? A Marcus rifle, or basically a. Actually, I still have a few of those. Say this, what is this? A marksman rifle. So basically, it's a sniper rifle. It deals the maximum damage you can think of, but as you can see, the RPM is really low. The magazine size is also really low. So I kind of like stop and I switch to a rifle which has a pretty good range. And if you find like Baker's dozen, you get like half a million damage already with crit damage and crit chance. You actually get a pretty decent damage deal. So as you can see, like at the end of this section, you will have this little box of special ammo. Usually what I do is I will save it. I will not use it until the very end. So to keep it in the last part. So in the next, I will try to only use my primary weapon. So over here, you're gonna throw a stinger hive, and then you just like keep shooting the area. If you want, you can also send your drone to help. So you see, like sometimes I need to reload, right? If I don't time it right. So that's where the stinger hive is going to be useful, because they stop the enemies for just a split second, enough for me to reload my weapon. This is not the quickest reload weapon, so it's very essential to actually have that like in front of you. You see that now there is a purple. So this purple, you see that little Wi-Fi thing? That means that he can build. They can build a remote control car. Typical. So it's not too bad. And as long as I have my stinger hive there, it's actually pretty safe. Otherwise, I'll try to finish them as quickly as possible, because their remote control car will explode, and then it will take usually like half of your armor or something. So that's that. So with that, we are moving on into the safe.
Authentication successful.
So the access code that you just used to open the thing is when you kill one of the shield enemies. Now the key card actually allows you to open this. Right, so I played this before, so it's already open. But if this is like the first time you play this mission in a day, you'll get here.
Got into the vault.
It's cool. We moved the president. He's tucked away nice and cozy upstairs.
Alright, so if you open this...
You pull the president out of the wreckage. Agent, you've got a new assignment. Find out where the president is being held and get him back. Sync Isaac with a bank security system. There should be a data center near the vault.
Alright, so if you open this using the code, you will be able to see that this little box. This is a fraction box, which allows you to get something that is like better. Like if you are trying to build your own or craft your own what's that called? There's a special weapon cheddar box. Then you will need an item from this particular box or this region and or this mission, I think. But basically, it refreshes every day. So if you open it today, like I did, then it won't be available until the next day. And the only way to open these kind of boxes is if you get a fraction key from hyenas, a specific fraction key. So you get those keys by fighting named enemies sometimes, or taking on bounties for that special fraction, like hyenas. You might also be able to farm those keys in the subways throughout the map, where you look for a particular kind of like junction box or key boxes. They will be highlighted by the UI, and when you open it, they will give you a fraction key. It doesn't have to be hyena's key; it can be some other fractions, but there's a chance that you get those keys as well. I think there are like 5 to 6 kinds of keys over there, so it's kind of like a random drop. Anyway, so moving on, you are going into here. What you're going to do is you're going to try to do something while protecting it without being destroyed by the enemies, and this is what I normally do. So first of all, I will drop a stinger hive here, somewhere around here, as far as possible. Okay, and then I'm gonna open this. I'm gonna refill my ammo first, because it will be a slightly long fight, and then I'm gonna trigger this. Okay, so you see that once I tap this, I need to defend the terminal for about 2 minutes. So I run over, I come here, look for a cover, and then I'll just start shooting. So you see that like the engineers that set up a turret, and the interesting thing is that instead of shooting the turret, you can just leave it be and focus your fire on the engineer. And the reason why is that once this engineer is killed, you will be able to let me just use different, just like, oh, did I just miss? Never mind. So once you finish off the engineer, then the turret will actually just randomly shoot things, and then it sometimes will become your ally because of that. So it's actually a pretty handy thing to do. I'm gonna keep an eye on when my striker drone is ready, and then once it's ready, I'll just call it again, and then do that. So another kind of enemy, you will want to pay attention to are the snipers, because they can 1 to 2 shot you if they are like elite snipers. So just be careful. There's a tail when there's a little bright light, and when the light lights up, it means that they're about to shoot you. So you kind of like either stay in the cover, or just like run around. So for this kind of enemies, the best way to deal with that, I hope I can do that, I don't think I can, is to hit their disorient them.
Search query finished. Subject
Sometimes if
located.
you're too close, you got disoriented as well, but that actually stops you from attacking. So it's a very handy thing.
Give away out of the vault.
So that's what we call
Searching for way
a
out of the vault. 0 matches.
Piece of shit wristwatch. Okay, let me see. If you can punch through the west wall, there's a maintenance tunnel running alongside your position. It's a long shot, but it's the only one we got.
a weak point PQ.
Lockdown procedure initiated.
Right, so I
That
pick up
doesn't sound good.
hive, pick up some. So these are the tokens that you get when you have the Memento exotic backpack. So every one you pick up, you will be able to buff up your ability a little bit for a short duration of time. So once you set up this, roll away, because it will explode and it will kill the agent. So I tried that. Once it's done, save, go on. Smoke is fine. Go in.
Isaac, plot a path to the president's location.
So when you are here,
Highlighting most expedient route.
see you
Son
need
of
to
a
turn the
bitch, it
fire off.
actually worked. Thanks, Isaac.
Turn this off. If you are on a speed run, it's actually possible to just run through the fire. Your agent will get on fire, but then the fire won't kill the agent. So it's a speed run trick that I learned, but I'm not doing that. That's fine. Once you open it, you go into here, the loading dock. There's one enemy on your right, but it's just only one single enemy, so it's all good. Here is a door lock. Oops. There is an armor and also a grenade. So if you want to restock, this is where you can restock. So once you're good, switch back, and then you are going to call the elevator. So once you're in the elevator, the next stop is you're going to save the president. So you can choose, you can either use a ranged weapon here, or you can save the ranged weapon with a special ammo later on. So it's up to you. I mean, I sometimes do it, sometimes I don't. It depends on the situation. So maybe I'll use special ammo, doesn't really matter. So you go in, open the door, and then you throw a stinger hive around this area. Okay, and then you can start shooting. Doesn't matter, the president won't take friendly fire, so it's all good. And then you can just like, so be careful. There is typically a sniper on the balcony. not always. And make good use of the surrounding things like slide this down, so you can, you know, light them fire, then do that. There's one coming up. You can hear the sound effect. So be careful. It means that there's another one coming up. We're good. So Stinger Hive saved the day. And then there's this, and also I think that's the last one. I'm gonna push him up, hit the shield. You can actually shoot through that
Get him on comms.
that opening and deal damages. But I mean, it requires a little bit of accuracy, but it's actually not too bad. So here you're gonna pick up stuff. Maybe that's this. Pick that up. Same thing. Not too good. Critical chance for only 4.5. Keep going. At this point, you can either keep your drone here, or since the president is still running, so I'm gonna destroy it so I can reload. But so once you're outside, there are some enemies that is close enough. There are some that is actually on the other side of the opening. So the hive is actually going to be helpful if you do it this way. Right, so you open this door, you hand the earpiece to the president, then you're going to reload, and then you are going to go out. So there are two enemies coming out.
Inbound to your location. Coming in over the edge. Keep your heads down. Gonna make a hole.
Alright, so shoot the legs, shoot through the opening, and then the other side is coming. So you can see that there's a medic. Shoot the medic first. Then, so there are two sides. Enemies are coming up. So they come to the right side. From the right side, there will be some coming from the left-hand side as well. So that's why the striker drone is that helpful, because once you're focusing on one side, you can either have it focus on the other side, or on the same side to increase damage deal quicker. It's up to you. Alright. Alright. So once you're done, you can watch the president get evacuated, I think.
Well, that's a load of shit.
Kill
So-
every last one of those fuckers. I want them dead. Roach, our gear supply will dry the fuck up if word gets back to the rest of the council that we lost the president.
We'll get him, ma'am. Fuckers aren't going anywhere but down.
So at this point, you're going to move on to the last section of this mission. So open the door. Don't worry about the ammo, because you can pick up ammos on your way. But be careful. There's only that once you go down, you can't go back up. So you're gonna pick up the ammo first, and then you're gonna drop down. So you can't jump back up. So usually the ammo is enough, so it's not too bad. So once you're here, and it begins the last section. So usually what I do is I run here, take cover, throw my Stinger Hive as far as I can, and then let it rip. And then I'll start my... So at this point, there's really no need to save anything. Like if you only play once, you can throw your grenade or whatever. Set your enemies on fire, use up your special ammo, doesn't really matter. That is a little bit unexpected, but it's okay. I'm gonna... Okay, so try to focus my fire on the engineer, the elite engineer, because he controls the sniper turret, right? So that's one thing. Okay, I'm gonna... So you see that there's a sniper on top, so pay attention to the sniper. He's not like the strongest sniper, so just finish him as quickly as possible. You see that now the Stinger Hive is helping me to stop the enemy. So I'm gonna finish the sniper. Finish this. Alright, so there's another sniper over there. You can tell from the eye from that light. Alright, now you are fighting the boss, so I'm gonna use up the roach. I'm gonna use my specialization weapon, which is a grenade launcher, to deal as much damage as I can. Usually I save up one just in case, and then since he's at a range, so I'm gonna use my range weapon to deal as much damage as possible. I'm gonna do this and try to throw a grenade while still can. One down, and I have 9 more seconds for the this. So yep, the drone is ready. So let's start the drone again. Fly a little bit. I noticed that there's one enemy coming up. Gotta be careful. Oh, I can hear the footsteps, so just make sure that and rank one down. So I can notice that there are more enemies shooting me, so I'm gonna change to another location a little bit and try to be careful with that. So there's one over there. So 2 seconds, I have my, oh, there we go. So, just shoot him, like focus on Roach, distract Roach a little bit. I can deal with the red enemies a little bit. Maybe I'll switch to a range weapon. My range weapon actually has a more stability, I believe. So, it's more stable and deals more damage. So, usually I use that as a, if they are far. I think he's coming towards me, so I gotta be careful. Run around. I don't know why something was on fire. So it's time to distract him a little bit. So he's done, and make sure that I finish everyone. So cool. So we are good.
Agent in need.
Right.
Backup.
So we are in luck. So today we are actually, like, I've got a lot of exotic, but this is actually the first time on record that you know, on a video on stream that I actually pick up a exotic. So exotic is, you know, some of the gears or weapons that are very rarely being dropped, but when you fight like a named enemies or a boss, they will get it. And to know that, the way you know it is exotic, you see there's a really salmon pink green light, you know, super nice looking thing, a higher pillar than anyone else. So that's a exotic. So it can be a gear or a weapon. So let's take a look at what this is. So this is a knee pad. Right, so not too bad. Usually I'll just pick up, and because when you destroy it, you will get 1 or 2 exotic component which you can use to upgrade your other exotic gears as well. You know, it's good to have. All right, so it doesn't always mean this is the best, but usually it's, you know, something that is extra. Here I have marksman rifle. I don't really use that anymore, so damage not too good. This one is like not maximum, so I'm gonna destroy it, leave some space. So let's see what else can we get. So these are just the tokens for my memento. I don't really need that if there's no enemies. So that's all good. So let's take a look at this. So nope, this one is not too bad. Like armor on kill, like over 18,000 is not too bad. I was fortunate that when I was playing one of the you know, these like heroic, I actually got a really good one. So I can show you what I got. So here I have the maximum 18,935. So if you get an 18,000, it's actually not too bad. but I have one that is better than that, so I'm just gonna keep that for now. I'm gonna swap it out. So yeah, so once you finish that, you open this door, you are back actually to the entrance. If you remember, this is where you fight the enemies. So you kind of like just right to it. So think about like if you can just bust through the door, turn left, you can save all these fights. Anyway, of course, the story doesn't go that way. So you run out. If you like, you can pick up some ammo. Usually, the way it works is that when you go outside, there might be one to three enemies around, but they are easy to finish. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. So I guess this time they don't, so which is good. So anyway, so that's how I play the heroic mission or the heroic difficulty for the bank headquarters mission. Oh, you see, like there's a guy. So I'm gonna finish these are the Black Tusk. Finish this, and I think we are pretty good. I think that's it. Yeah. So like I said, so this is how I would play the bank headquarters heroic level of difficulty. And today we are here because we try to have a target loot gear system mods. I didn't get what I wanted because I want a 12 critical hit damage gear mod, and I mean it's all about farming or looting, so I don't expect it to be dropped like that easily. But I mean, if you don't do this, I can't. If I don't play this mode, I can't get those eventually. So that's why. This is the title is the road to a DPS build, and this is the road. And I'm glad that you are watching my character grow in this way. And once again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy watching me playing this game as much as I enjoy playing this game. And I hope to make another video for you shortly. See ya. Bye.